I thought it slid. How are you? How's everybody doing?
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you. You look a little different. You didn't have to wait.
Am I here? Are you alive?
Okay, good. Well, we already talked, yeah. Chrissy, how are you? Christian. Grab a water.
Good to see you. Hi. You betcha. How are you? Good to see you.
Just hit the floor.
How you doing there, young fella? Well, how you doing? You must belong to the same. I said, as long as we're together, I don't have to worry.
No. Well, let's. If it's okay, I want to be respectful of your time, because I know you've taken time out when you got a lot going on. We originally had a week of campaign activities scheduled this week, but we all know what happened last Friday night, and so this is not a campaign stop. This is an update and a feedback session on your status here in Guernsey County. I'm going to share with you a little bit about what I know, and then hear from you. Dave, I want to thank you for helping to arrange today, and Rich, thanks for helping put this together. Chief, it's good to see you again. The Chief and I were surveying the damage over at the church and the Napa Auto Parts store and the Buckeye Tire Company on Sunday afternoon. Wow, you guys got hit really hard. I was telling the Chief, I was in a mobile home that got hit by a tornado in 1974. I was inside the mobile home. It threw us about 100 yards out across the field. Nothing left of the trailer. It was miraculous that we survived. My roommate got hurt a lot worse than I did. That was in the last big string of tornadoes that came through, historically the biggest that you hear about in the news, before the ones that came through Mississippi and Alabama last year. It was huge. I think if my memory serves me right, there was over 100 tornadoes that hit that part of the country back in 1974, and we were in the path of one of them. So, but I wanted to tell you what I know right now, and I got an update from the AEP folks about 45 minutes ago. There are still 281,000 people across the state that are without power. In the region that services, that Cambridge itself is in, it's also part of an area of Noble County. AEP doesn't have it county by county or city by city. They got their regions. That region still shows about 8,300 people without power. And they're getting them up. I mean, right now they've got, and Chief, you correct me if I'm missing anything here, the courthouse is up, the county complex is up, the sheriff's office and the jail and the police station is up, and there was one other downtown. I can't remember what that is.
City Hall.
City Hall. City Hall is up. But a lot of damage down there around the Presbyterian Church and the Napa Auto Store and Buckeye Tire Company. Do we know if they've got power yet? Does anybody know? They do not.
West End doesn't have power.
The West End does not have power yet. Okay. Well, I know they brought in additional crews from places like Alabama and Georgia and Florida and as far away as Oklahoma, and they're putting them in the field as quickly as they can get them. You can look at the sky and tell that in some places they're going to be hampered by the weather. We came through a pretty serious, another very strong wind and rainstorm on our way here just a little bit ago. So with that, why don't we open it up for questions and see if you guys, are there any specific needs here in Guernsey County? Now you guys know that I do not represent Guernsey County today. So what I could do though is coordinate, if you've got any requests of federal support, I can try and coordinate that with Congressman Gibbs' office to make sure that he knows so that he can get his team jumping on that. But if there's anything that you would like for me to pass on or that I could be of assistance with, I worked all day Sunday out of the Emergency Operations Center in Washington County. We've got a staff member there. We've been in contact with the sheriff here, and we'll continue to be reaching out to make sure that everything is being done that can be done. So do you guys have any questions of me that I could try to help answer today?
I'm sure one thing that would be interesting to know is what the FEMA response is going to be and whether we're going to be able to recoup some of the costs associated with the storm, which are still ongoing as of now. I mean, we've got overtime for officers, like the street department.
Sure.
It's going to have lots of overtime.
I think how that shakes out, Chief, remains yet to be seen. You know, the governor did ask for an emergency declaration, and the president granted that.
Okay.
And so, and I think it depends on the specific areas and how hard they were hit and those kinds of things. I'm sure, but I will ask that question. Rachel, if we're taking notes, who's taking notes for us? Let's make sure we get that question down. What about the FEMA reimbursement for overtime and those kinds of things? We've been in touch with the governor's office and we're in regular contact with them, so that's a question we can ask them, and I'm sure they'll be publicizing a process to request reimbursement or support. We'll find out, Chief, and let you know.
I think as far as the electricity comes online, I don't know that we need a big need for housing or anything like that for FEMA. I think we're okay there.
How are you set for water and ice and things like that?
I think I haven't heard of any real issues with that right now.
Yeah, you shouldn't be, because people are coming up here and getting it and taking it to other places. Because we stopped, in fact, we were going to stop yesterday until we heard that Belpre, I had called the Belpre mayor yesterday morning to make sure that they were okay, because I had gotten word that nobody from Belpre had contacted the EOC in Washington County. And I found out that they were hurting for ice and for their cooling station. So before we could do anything, the state had already gotten involved and they got them some. So we were going to get some from up here because there was plenty of ice down at Walmart and the grocery stores around here. Yeah. So what about oxygen? You know, one of the things that they've had a problem with in Belpre and parts of Washington County, because I don't know the extent of the damage, but a lot of the cell phone towers were not functioning, so you had no cell phone signal, you had no landline signal. So the medical providers of the oxygen could not contact their patients. The patients had no communication, so they couldn't contact their medical provider. And neither of them could contact the EOC to say, hey, I'm about to run out of oxygen, can somebody help me? So we got that process worked out yesterday with the state as well. So how are you guys sitting with that? You know of any problems with people that need oxygen that can't get it?